Now, Ricky Vasey is a ledge, a lovely, lovely guy. And he's one of the rehab managers at Recovery Connections in Middlesbrough. And they do so much vital work for our part of the world. They support those affected with substance misuse and sustain long-term recovery in a lasting positive way. And that is the important thing. It's not just get you off and you might get back on in a fortnight's time. It's maintaining that. Now, Ricky's walked in those shoes. He knows what it's like. He's just a lovely guy. And what it's the phrase that leaving the ladder down, that's what he's done. Now, what he's done, he's co-authored a new musical about, it's basically mirrored on his life, but it's not about him. And it's coming to Middlesbrough. And I think it'll touch so many lives. You watch it and hear it, and you'll go, I can recognise that. It's called Serenity Prayer, and it talks very openly about addiction to alcohol. And Ricky then sort of puts in there about that day that he decided to put the drink down, which is a really, really, really important day. It is a fundamental day in anyone's recovery. So I popped down to Fork in the Road yesterday to speak to Ricky.
My name is Ricky Vasey, and I'm the Rehab Manager in Middlesbrough.
You're much more than that, mate. You've done something really, really amazing. You've got a night coming up, which is going to be a real special night for Middlesbrough. Tell us what it is.
So, me and my Uncle Lee, we've been working on a musical for about 8-10 years or something like that. Lee actually wrote all the music for it. And when he was first putting the songs together, he realised that he needed some kind of story to follow. And that's where I came in and I kind of wrote the script. Lee's done an amazing job writing the music for it. It's phenomenal. Very proud of it.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and the courage to change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference one day at a time.
And is this something that's been inside you for a long time, like sort of your Ulysses? This is something that you've always wanted to get out?
I think more so for Lee, it was his idea to start it. My dad, his brother, died of alcoholism 18 years ago, it'll be now. And I was drinking quite heavily myself at that time, so I can't say that I noticed that much or felt that much at that time. But Lee watched it all and he was really strong through that and held things together a little bit. And it was then that he started writing the songs about what addiction was or how he felt it was from some of the stories and conversations that he'd had with my dad. I didn't know he was doing it then, but then I got myself into recovery in 2007. And he used to watch me go to the meetings, and I think a lot of it was relief. I think a lot of people felt that I was probably going to go down the same route as my dad, but I didn't. I just concentrated on my recovery, and my life changed quite quickly.
What was the catalyst? Because I know we've been speaking before we start recording, and with addiction, is it hard to realise you're addicted because you're in it?
No, I knew I had a problem. I knew I had a problem for a lot of years. I got into recovery when I was 36, but I knew I had a problem from being early 20s.
So what was the catalyst? What was the thing that made you go, right, nick us to the sun, I've got to do something?
This bit's actually in the musical. I wrote it as well as I could remember it. And I'm played by, I'm several people in the musical actually, but which I suppose I would be in my head. But I knew I had an issue. I always knew that my drink was out of control. I drank from the moment I woke up till I blacked out. However, one morning, I was sat on the bathroom floor with my back against a cold radiator, and I just had this incredible feeling that that'll do. Yeah. That's it. That's enough. I don't know whether the fight was over. I don't know where it was, but it was one of the strongest feelings I've ever had in my life. Ironically, it was a payday, so it's not the most common day for an alcoholic to go, I tell you what, I'm going to stop drinking today, and And I knew I couldn't. I was physically dependent. So I went to the shop. I bought enough to get rid of my shakes for me to be able to walk and function. And then I went and asked for help. And that was how it all started.
On the landing, on the steps, I look at your picture, but it's not the same as hearing you when you call my name. You're always in my prayers. On that landing, on the stairs.
Is it like an out-of-body experience watching it? Watching
Yeah,
the play?
absolutely. The first time that I went to see it, it's been on 3 times in Norwich now. And the first time that I went to see it, yeah, it was very emotional. I had to leave twice, and it was just like, it's like watching me and hearing me, and I relived those emotions. It was very powerful.
Because it's somewhere you don't want to go back to. And you're watching it.
Actually, do you know what? I don't mind going back there, but I don't stay there. It reminds me of what it was like, and that's one of my biggest strengths.
To pull it all together, you know, you with the narrative and your cousin with the music, what was it like to get people involved? Was it an easy sell to people and go, yeah, we were on board with this?
Well, again, I have to take my hat off to our Lee, because he was the one. He's a musician in Norwich, and he does very well. He's from Teesside originally, from Grangetown. We're both Grangetown lads, which is why it touches on. There's DV, domestic violence stuff in there. There's the old way of life on there, and there's that kind of "Where's me dinner, where's me tea" is one of the songs, which is what my granddad used to say when he walked in the house. You know, that's just how things were in those days. So when Lee and me had kind of got the script and the music together, he started speaking to some of the professionals he works with. So the cast that are coming up from Norwich have either family experience of addiction, but there's no escaping that addiction does touch on people's lives, so they've all got life experience of it. And as soon as Lee was talking about trying to get the message out, that's the whole point of this. You know, people can change. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Recovery is possible. You know, it's not making a great deal of money, but they have given probably thousands worth of hours of time to get it to where it is today.
It's important to get the message across.
Absolutely.
And in many ways it's possible because you can put a poster up and people walk past the poster and go, that's not me. But if you can put it in a way that people can associate with a family environment, life environment, your life, people may recognise your life and go, that's mine.
Yeah, and don't get it wrong, it's not my life story. It's just that I've used some of my life's experiences to make it more genuine. So the story is actually of a lady who's in a domestic violence relationship with a young daughter who leaves that household, gets a daughter somewhere safe without really thinking of herself, and heads into town, and then it's their adventure from there.
Because you're a remarkable person, really. I think you are. You know, I've only been sat with you for 15 minutes now. You could have easily sacked it all off and gone, right, I'm all right, Jack. But you haven't. You want to help others still. You want to get people to where you are. I think it's an old phrase, isn't it? Leave the ladder down. What is it that drives you?
From early recovery, I never thought that I could have the life that I live today. And I watch people struggle. You mentioned before we started recording purpose, and it is almost a purpose. In fact, it is. You know, part of the reason that I didn't drink again in the early days was because it felt so good to wake up one morning and have choice. It's an incredible feeling. It's the most basic feeling in the world.
Do we take it for granted, choice?
God, yes. Imagine waking up and having to drink and no choice in it whatsoever. And I think a lot of people don't get that. An alcohol-dependent person doesn't drink because they want to. They drink because they don't want to go into withdrawal. They don't want to have hallucinations. They don't want to have seizures. They don't want to end up in hospital. They have to drink. They've lost that power of choice. And to be able to wake up in the morning and go, do you know what? I can't decide whether I'm going to have coffee or tea. That is an amazing feeling. What am I going to do today? I don't know.
If you could bottle that food, you'd be a millionaire, wouldn't you?
God, you would. You would.
How difficult is it? You know, you can walk around town, you know, there's bars, clubs, pubs, everything. How difficult is it to see that? You know, watch the telly, there's adverts on there for alcohol, and everyone seems to be having a great time. Nobody ever has a bad time on the telly, will be you, do they? Is it a difficult thing to watch as a recovering alcoholic?
I haven't even thought about having a drink for, God, man, that's got to be about 14 years.
Not even one thought?
No. I can do anything that I could do drunk now, but better. Perhaps I can't fall over as good.
Dancing?
Do you know what, right? It took me a while to do my first sober dance, and it took me a while to ask a lady out when I first got sober, because all that stuff, but it's the same as everything. Once you give it a little go and you don't explode, you're all right.
When is the play on? Where is it? Have you got all the details, and so we can give it a good old plug?
Yeah, so it's on at the St Mary's Centre on Corporation Road, and that's on Wednesday, the 28th. I think it's 7 o'clock, the evening show. And if you are interested and you do want to get some tickets, if you go on the Recovery Connections Facebook page, all the details are on there. And Recovery Connections have been absolutely brilliant with this. They're actually sponsoring the event, so I can't thank them enough. Lee has put so much work into it, and the cast of, as I say, have given so many hours of their life up to try and make this work. It'd be great to see some people there, so we can just kind of really send out a strong message.
Everyone's rushing in the city, so if you're feeling left behind, nobody knows just where they're going, nobody knows just what they'll find, like a soul that's going nowhere.
What a great man. Genuinely a great man, and that story will resonate with so many. You maybe see aunties, uncles, mums and dads go through what Ricky saw, and then maybe you've gone through what Ricky's gone through himself, and to be able to put it down through your mind onto paper and working with such a... You know Lee Vasey. Lee's an amazing musician from our part of the world, now based down in Norwich there. Ricky and Lee coming together and creating this wonderful musical called the Serenity Prayer, and it is on, as I'll reiterate again, Corporation Road at St Mary's Centre there. It's Wednesday the 28th at 7:30, and if you go on any search and you put Recovery Connections, all the details will be on there, on their social media, and you can get the tickets. This is what I'm here for. This is your BBC Radio Tees. If we can help in any way, shape or form, let us know. Email me, garyp@bbc.co.uk. Now, Ricky Vasey is alleged